diggity, diggity dog. Breaking, diggity, diggity dog. Sharp. Breaking. Diggity, diggity dog.
Hello and welcome to the 48th episode of the T40's podcast. I am your maestro, Sir Michael.
I guess I'm the concert master, Ryan.
I don't know any other ranks.
To say
First violin.
trombone.
I'm trombone, yeah. Benson.
I'm backup oboe, Alex.
Second oboe.
His third chair.
He's just
So I'll
in the
never
back.
play ever.
Yeah.
No.
You just stand in the back dancing. Sweet, I love this music. If you want to contact us, you can email us at podcast@tipping40s.com or call us at 218-666-8407. We got some fun emails this week, actually. So
Yeah. We're going straight into those?
yeah, let's go into those.
Okay, so Taylor sent us a link to The Sun, which is a great tabloid out of the UK, about the picture of a Down syndrome girl. I don't know if you've seen this picture on the internet. It's just like this young girl that has Down syndrome.
Was she like the page 3 babe in The Sun?
It's like the blonde. She's
Does it-
blonde, right?
Yeah, she's
yeah,
blonde.
I know.
Yeah.
That.
It's The Sun that does that, right? Where they have like the babe of the day. Like they have some lady.
On page 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the page. I don't know if that's the Sun or not, but
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess
Down
this
syndrome
picture was
troll.
used on the internet as like a troll image macro thing, and I guess now she's older and she's upset about it, and I don't know, it's kind of stupid her face gets used that, but it's who fucking cares.
Yeah, no, it sucks for her.
But-
Her life's ruined.
But not really, because people won't even be able to tell it's her.
Yeah, they
like-
all people with Downs have huge foreheads. They all kind of look like.
Well, I'm not.
Stop being
I'm
racist.
saying like she was like racist. That's actually like
TARDIS.
as bad as racism, but just different.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, it doesn't matter because the picture is when she was a little kid. People won't be able to tell it's her anyway. The only reason that they know it's her now is because she made a big stink about
That's
it.
a good point. Yeah, she made
Yeah,
a
Streisand effect going in there.
Yeah.
He also sent another one about New York test involving pineapples and hares. I guess there was a stupid question on the test about a talking pineapple challenging a hare to the race, kind of like the tortoise and the hare sort of thing.
Okay.
And then I guess the hare wins the race and eats the pineapple. And then they asked two questions. Why did the animals eat the pineapple? And who was the wisest animal?
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand this
What?
email at all.
What?
I don't
What
even
test
know-
was this on?
I don't even know.
This
what
is on a Regents.
No, I don't even know what you're saying. What do you
neither.
mean?
It was a reading comprehension test. I'm not going
Oh,
to
I
read the entire
got you.
thing, but they had
Okay.
a question about this, and those were the two questions at the end. And
That's
this
nothing
was
to
a
do with reading
New York
comprehension.
State 8th grade reading exam.
Yeah, it does, because if you can read and understand that, you can understand crazy people really well. So
Yeah,
you have to have
that's true.
some really beyond level
Fucking
comprehension.
brilliant.
Okay, talking pineapple. Dude, listen to this.
Which was the wisest
There was a
thing.
rabbit.
I would say the wisest one was probably the pineapple because it was a talking pineapple.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
right.
incredible.
I think the wisest person was the person who wrote that because they got paid like a lot of money for that fucking stupid
Unfortunately, I
question.
believe that's an answer.
pretty wise.
Yeah, well, they're in New York, so they got to teach people how to understand bums. So
Yeah,
I would
that's
have
true.
trouble. I would have trouble not writing something really stupid on that actually.
It
Because
was probably a Scantron test or something, but moving on.
Always vote C.
Janie's quest said in, just a question I thought of inspired by nearing the end of my own time in high school. Do you guys think senioritis is legitimate? I know a lot of people use it as an excuse to be lazy, but I can think of a lot of friends who might actually look burnt out and flat out miserable.
there's no excuse. It's not putting up an excuse. You're just lazy now because you don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's-
you
it
don't
has
need
nothing
to do
with
anything.
it has nothing to do with any type of actual condition it causes. It's because you go, hey, it doesn't matter what I do now because I'm already into my college.
Yeah.
Like I've been accepted. As long as I don't fail, I'm gonna get in. I don't fucking care what happens, so I don't want
Yeah.
to do any
So
work.
really, it's the fault of the schools because they literally last semester they just don't. They're like they don't bother. Even if you're an
Schools
AP
don't
student.
care. They don't care
I
the
was
last
accepted to
semester.
college in the summer between junior and senior year, and I went from a 3.8 to a 3.0 in my last year of alone.
Yeah, because you just
Because I
didn't
didn't
care
give
anymore.
shit.
Yeah.
I only had like 3 classes, so
I never had a study hall, and then the last semester I had 5. because I ran out of classes to take.
Our teachers just let us like go out of class a lot and stuff. They
That's
just didn't
same with
care.
me.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. Yeah, you're right. It's the fault of the school. It is because they could engage people and make them.
They could, give you college prep courses of some sort. Where they
Well, I went and took community college classes, so.
That actually costs money for the school, which is why they don't.
Maybe they should teach them like, this is how much your life will suck once you have your degree. They'll be like,
They should have
what?
taken some financial courses.
What they
Yeah,
should
exactly.
do.
This is what you're signing with FAFSA. This is what you're.
If I
getting
think
into.
I think honestly, what they should do is they should instead make them go get a job for like a part-time job, and then like they have to follow up on it with the school. And
would
it would
actually-
be so much more helpful to
But
the
paid,
students.
not unpaid, because unpaid internships.
No, it's
are
not an
so
unpaid
great.
internship. I'm saying they have to go get a part-time job and just basically say, "Hey, I'm still working." Mm-hmm. And
That'd be good.
That would be so good for students.
You should
Way
just make
better
it,
than
instead
classes.
of your grades being, based on tests or anything last year, just make it attendance based.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people made fun of it a lot in New York, but there was something called BOCES there, which is like a VOTEC
I remember
school.
BOCES, yeah.
And it's a great idea. Like, I wish I had gone to BOCES at some point, because I would have gotten some actual trade skills that would have helped me.
Yeah, I knew a guy actually who he had mental problems. I don't know what, how they weren't that severe. I mean, he was functional, but he definitely wouldn't have, done very well in the working world, because, if you met him, you'd understand. But he went to BOCES and he became like a very good welder. Mm-hmm. And if you start training in a skill earlier, then yeah, it's better for you. That has nothing to do with senioritis, I guess. But
moving on, we got Jacob. Even though our email said subject football. Fuck yeah, football. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
figured the NFL draft might be mostly done by the time we record the podcast. Just wondering if anything stuck out to you this year as particularly terrible.
Yes.
Is this the year that Alex comes around and roots for the Cowboys?
No.
that's never
The most terrible thing is the Browns not picking a quarterback early on because they fucked up all their trades. And then they end up trading up to get a quarterback with like the 27th or 6th pick. And he's a 28-year-old man.
Yeah, he's really old.
28-year-old man from Oklahoma State.
He'll be 29 by the time he plays.
The good news is that'll allow people to continue not caring about the Browns.
Yeah. They're terrible. I was actually reading an article that was like top 50 worst teams in sports history. It's like, the 76 Buccaneers or the 08 Lions, and just said Cleveland Browns. Not a specific team. Just said Cleveland Browns.
What do you think of those two
great.
quarterbacks that everybody was fucking masturbating
Oh,
over?
I think they're extremely good, actually.
Yeah, they're probably going to be pretty good. I
Andrew Luck
think
and
the
Robert
Vikings
Griffin.
pick, I mean,
they trade
Khalil is good. That's who they wanted. I mean,
Yeah.
he's really good, but it's like, are you going to change your franchise with one guard? I mean, unless it's Jonathan Ogden. Like, no.
He's not supposed to be as good as him, but he's still...
No, he's not, because that guy jumped 40 inches and was 320 pounds.
You always find a way to work in the
Freak.
combine.
Yeah, that's freakish.
He's
But-
obsessed with the combine.
by the way, I saw a news piece on ESPN this morning about how Roger Goodell hugged the draft.
No, I
team.
noticed that when I was watching
Yeah,
it.
they,
Like, when they had like 5-second hugs.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
they-
doing the leany thing when they're hugging each other. I'm like, what the fuck
Hey,
is going
football
on
is
here?
very manly.
I think he's like, motherfucker, you better not fuck it up, bro.
Yeah.
I'll spin you for 8 fucking games.
No dirty
$50,000.
Never mind.
Late hits.
Okay, so that's all emails. You got some voicemails for us?
We do. Yeah, let's just start them up here. Got a few good ones today, actually.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I was wondering what you guys had against the Olympics. Like, as someone who used to be a competitive swimmer, I like to follow. I don't like to follow all the Olympics, but I like to follow at least the swimming portion. And I was just wondering, if you can elaborate what gripes you about it. Anyways, that's it. Bye.
okay, cool. Question.
I like to watch the basketball in the Olympics. I don't know.
Well, first I guess
Because
the
they
Jews, if he's talking about summer ones, I'm assuming, since that
Yeah,
was
she's
coming
talking
out.
Yeah,
That's
because
coming
winners,
out. That's
winner,
coming
who
out.
cares
And
about winner
winners-
besides hockey?
Yeah,
I like
so-
hockey.
But
Some of the skiing stuff's fun.
I like to watch it because it's all the best players together, and they play against other teams that aren't as good at all. So it's kind of lame to watch sometimes. But
No,
so
those teams have gotten
there's
pretty
some
fucking
decent
good.
teams now, like Spain, Argentina. But Derrick Rose is definitely
Talking basketball
the year.
here?
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's other ones that
better.
like last
96 Dream Team.
in 2008, the last one, NBC actually had all of them on their website you could watch.
Yeah, that was actually
the first
pretty
time that
cool.
ever happened. So you could watch if there's obscure ones like table tennis or fencing. Or
Yeah, I
something.
like watching fencing, actually. I think that's interesting.
Then most of the sports suck, right, Kevin?
Yeah, my problem with the Olympics is that some of the sports are great, and then other sports aren't sports.
Yeah,
So-
I actually kind of agree
Figure
with him.
skating?
I actually like watching swimming events sometimes. Not a lot of it.
And
but I watch a little.
Swimming is a sport if it's racing, though.
Yes.
I don't enjoy watching it because that's fucking boring, but it's still a sport.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, figure skating, it takes a lot of skill,
You
but
have the
that ain't a
same-
fucking
Yeah, you have the
sport.
same problem that I do. It's like some of these sports
Judge
in the
sports.
Olympics are judgment based, not like
Yeah, and that's not a sport.
like for if you're doing with the swimming thing, diving for example, that's judgment based. And
Yeah.
while I think it's athletic and stuff, I don't know if it's really a sport per se.
That's my
There's
problem
no
with like
clear
the
way
X
to do it.
Games too. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, skateboarding takes a lot of talent to be a really good skateboarder.
And it's fun to watch,
and it's
too.
it's cool to watch, yeah, but it's not a sport because there's no way to
There's no clear winning condition.
Clearly gauge
to
who won.
objectively, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I actually hate the Olympics just because it is one of the most corrupt and
Commercialized,
fucked up,
yeah.
like
It is
just
extremely
unethical. And then they put this slant on it, like it's some like diplomacy
Yeah.
slant
It's
to
turned-
it.
it's
It's such
turned from, like,
bullshit.
yeah, it always.
Iran and America are on the same field. See, they do get along sometimes.
Actually, the thing
It's
that
like,
really
fuck
bothers
you.
me is that they turn the whole thing into this severely political campaign to get your to get the next location.
Yeah.
and so
Well, that's a different topic, but yeah.
No, that's still Olympics though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they
super
make
corrupt.
they make a huge deal out of it every 2 years when they're figuring out when the next the one in the
20 years down the road is
2030 or whatever the fuck.
Actually,
it's
the
gonna
thing I
be.
hate most about it is the events they show on TV are always fucking boring as hell, but it's because they're the ones that the U.S. always wins.
Yes.
Fucking
True.
hate that. There's all these other ones they never show just because the U.S. doesn't do good in them at all.
That's
And the
a
problem,
great
yeah, the
example.
problem is too,
Fucking
like a lot of the events end up being dominated by certain countries every year too, because some countries are focused way more on certain sports, and so
yeah.
it's like you there's teams that end up, they make the qualifiers. You're like, this team's not gonna fucking win. This guy's done. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way this guy could even compete. It's like, who's gonna win at running? It's always gonna be like Africa and fucking Jamaica and stuff because that's their sport. That's what they fucking do all the time.
Yeah, it's
So
the
it's
same with
like,
China's always win ping pong and stuff.
yeah, it's like I don't want to watch.
I
that.
just think it's funny that these cities really want the Olympics, and the Olympics goes, okay, now you have to build billions of dollars worth of shit. Let's look at them. Sydney had a huge recession after their Olympics. Athens, I don't even need to mention.
Yeah,
That bankrupted their country.
I don't know if it was particularly related
Well,
to it, but
a
it's
lot of
funny.
their loans
I
were
saw
from
a
that.
photojournalist piece about their the Olympic grounds that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Was it fucking 12 years ago or something like that?
It's 2004.
2004. Yeah, and it's like they're all derelict. They're all vacant
Yeah.
ground. It's
Good.
crazy.
Yeah, IOC got their fucking money, and now they're out, and they don't give a shit. And London, good for you. You're going to go bankrupt too, and because they spent a shit ton of money. And I just thought it was funny when Obama, was like, "Come on, pick Chicago," and the IOC was like, "No, because you didn't get us as good prostitutes." That's probably why, but I don't know. But they were sad. Chicago's almost bankrupt now. They should have been They should have been like, "Thank fucking God we didn't get this thing, because we would have fucking been ruined."
I think everybody sees like the short-term gains
Yeah.
for the tourism and whatnot, and doesn't realize that now these loans that we spent building this huge stadium complex are going to go into the next.
I think the
couple
people
years.
that get really excited are the snake oil salesmen that are like, I could make so much money off this fucking thing, and then like the city just tanks.
yeah.
It's fucking terrible. Olympics suck.
Yep. Next white whale.
All right.
Hey guys, name's Daniel. Love the podcast. Anyway, I was going to ask you a question since it just happened with me and my roommate. Ever been caught masturbating before? Thanks. See you later.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good question, actually.
So when I heard this, I laughed. So when I was 17, I was masturbating to a porno. Which
What kind of porno was it?
a
it
DVD.
DP?
DVD. I got it for $5.
DVD.
That's awesome.
Hey, I had
money for it?
dial up.
Was
I
it
had
like
dial up.
Vivid?
I don't think I've
something?
ever watched a
It was
porn on
vivid.
DVD.
It was from the 90s.
Those are classy.
It was courtroom porn.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
Was there
$5.
actually acting before? Like actual
There
court
was,
acting?
Well, like
but
that
not really.
obligatory
They didn't
2
really
minutes.
care.
Like
It was
Yeah.
like, where did you meet him? We met in the bedroom, and then it showed like the scene.
oh, so it wasn't actually in the
So it's like
courtroom.
flashback.
Yeah, it was like flashbacks,
That would've
but
been
there was
better
some
if
sex
the-
in the courtroom.
I thought it was
like,
going to be
during
like
recess and
objection,
stuff.
Your Honor.
All right, let's
But anyways,
hear
yeah.
the story.
Anyways, so I was watching it. I was masturbating, and my mom walks in. And it's like 10 at night, and I just
In your room?
time mute it. That's it. And the way my room's set up is she couldn't see the TV unless she completely came in.
Yeah.
And she didn't actually see what was on TV. The whole time. And she comes in and she's crying. I'm like, what's going on? She goes, your grandma died. And I went, oh, that's terrible. She's like, yeah, it's so terrible. I'm like, do I have to go to that? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay, we'll see you later.
And then
I never got caught.
Wow.
But it was amazing.
How did it feel talking about your dead grandma with your dick in your hand?
It was weird.
And you finished.
The whole
You
thing
finished
was
way
weird.
faster after that, right?
No, I think I didn't even finish. I think I was just like, I felt too guilty. Like this 90-year-old woman. I'm like, do I have to go?
He was
Like,
trying to
I
rub
don't
it out
want to
just going,
go.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
Oh,
I'm
God.
so sorry.
So yeah, that was something that happened.
I never got caught, so.
I did once. My mom walked in. She didn't see me doing it, but she knew that I was because I, had to pull my shit
the
together
shuffle.
real quick.
Yeah.
And she basically just went, and just walked back out. And then 3 days later, my dad goes, so your mom's wanted me to talk to you about sex because she walked in on you? And I was like, yeah, that was really awkward. I don't need to talk about that. I know all of that already. Don't even bother. Let's just never talk about that ever again. Let's never speak of it. And that was it. So there's not really that much of a story. I was
You
just
should have
like,
said, I know what this all means already, and then tell them the most insane stuff that's not true about sex.
when the stork comes and drops the baby down the chimney in a knapsack.
You give the stork a pearl necklace for payment.
When the baby seed comes out of the mommy's belly button.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is this,
God.
Dennis the Menace?
I was gonna start making some Jesus stuff, but let's just keep going to the next one.
All right.
Hello, T40's. This is Matt, or MJG. So late last night, me and a bunch of other sad people spent a few hours watching this terrible movie starring monkeys. And it got me curious. If you guys were put in charge of a film with the one requirement being that it had to star an animal, what would you do with it? For example, what type of animal would you choose to work with? Or what would the basic, plot or setting be? Would you be able to resist including a pun in your title? Let me know what you guys think.
I didn't think of a title.
Bye.
Well, first, I think Sarah Jessica Parker needs work, so.
Who will write it?
Yeah, that was a terrible joke, sorry.
So,
Awful.
I would pick a movie with penguins because they make the most money. And if I had to make some
They do
stupid
make a
pet
lot.
movie, I would pick penguins.
And they
'cause
die
make
in the
most-
end.
No, they don't die in the end. At the end, they all dance.
Okay.
They get ice
Yeah.
cream cones.
They have ice. Sure.
Well,
they-
what's the point of a penguin movie if they don't dance, really?
Yeah, they have to dance. They look funny when they dance. But I don't know. That'd have them do something. Who fucking cares? They go somewhere. It's basically Land Before Time. Kid penguins need to find their parents. Sure.
I would totally-
$100 million.
I would totally make a movie with a Gila monster. Where it's like people screaming, oh, they look up, and then it just shows a zoomed in shot of a Gila monster just walking in the desert. And that's it. Like the old school movies, like,
Yeah.
with a shrew that's like, has like a fucking costume on, like evil and shit. Like, it just walks around, like licks a rock or something. But it's like the rock is drawn as a building or something.
That's insane right there.
That'd be a good movie.
Going off the same line, I was going to say ponies, actually, because little girls love ponies.
And bronies love them too.
Sure, they just eat that shit
Oh
up.
my God.
I don't really have any other ideas. I guess I'll just talk about it. I was kind of not wanting to talk about it because we might someday make this. But when we were doing our old sketch group, me and Mike writing, I wrote a sketch that was a fake preview for a movie, and the movie's named Air Bud. But it is not Air Bud, it's H-E-I-R Bud. And the plot is that a king, he dies, and he has no living heirs, so he makes his dog
They have like some obscure rule.
Yeah, it's a rule written.
Nothing in the rule says a dog can't be a sovereign.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't no rule says a dog can't king. And so basically, what happens is the dog has to find a wife, and the plot of the movie is that to find his queen, for whatever reason, they don't try to find another dog. They try to find a woman to marry this dog so she'll be queen. And
I love this idea.
of course, it goes up.
bestiality.
Yeah, it's implied bestiality, but it doesn't actually show anything inappropriate. Yeah. And the other thing about it that, like, basically, it's
Bear me a son, please.
that very ridiculous plot device where it's like there's the one person who's perfect for the dog, but then there's also the veterinarian with a heart of gold, and that's the one that's actually supposed to be.
But she's not royalty, so she can't be.
Yeah, exactly. She's not noble.
royal.
And there's two schemers in the background that want it for their own,
Yeah, and so we didn't, we never made that sketch, but if I were going to make a movie like that, it would be that movie, because I think it would be ridiculously, like, it would be so...
It has weird implications.
Yeah,
That's the best
nothing
part.
in it is, like, directly inappropriate, but everything about it is just not right at all. So...
That was one of my favorite sketches that you came up with, and we...
It would be great to make that someday, but I don't think that most people will really even remember if we ever do make it. So,
Good voicemails this week.
yeah, those were good.
So, beer of the week, I'm picking an Ethiopian beer. It's
Really?
called Harar Hakim.
Have you had it before?
Yes.
Harar Hakim.
I went to the Ethiopian restaurant in Tempe, Cafe Lala Bella or whatever it's
I've
called.
heard of it, yeah.
It's really good.
What did you eat?
Fucking goat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that makes sense, because Ethiopian.
Yeah, it was good.
What type of beer is it?
It's a dark beer. It's really like, you know how the Eastern European almost have like those plummy, like weird
malty,
things?
yeah.
This does it, but it tastes a lot better. Like they spice it a little bit, and it's just like kind of, it's like if Christmas beer was done correctly.
Right.
Really? I thought like a lot of African beers had like honey in them and stuff.
Yeah, it's very sweet too.
Okay.
So it's almost like if you took like a stout and a Hefeweizen and like
Mix them?
Yeah, sort of, but like
weird.
in a good way though, because that could be really awful.
Yeah.
But it was fairly cheap at the restaurant, and it was good. It went with my goat. So
Well, I managed to pull out a beer of the week that we haven't ever drank.
Yeah.
Never even heard
Congrats.
yeah, whenever you're in an ethnic restaurant like Ethiopia or something, it's always cool to get beers. Like Indian restaurants are fun too because they have weird beers.
Yeah, I've had some okay Indian beers. I've had some terrible
Yes,
Indian
me
beers.
too.
Yeah, they go
yeah.
either way.
Yeah.
Okay, so next, I'm really excited about this segment. Benson's going to talk about solomongerophobia. Is that what you call
Close
it?
enough. I don't know if it's pronounced differently than that, but
Who cares?
it sounds that way.
It
to
shouldn't
me as
exist
far as-
anyways.
Let's
know
see
what
if
this
this
is.
works.
yeah, you'll like this, and I
Okay.
think you've witnessed it.
You'll know what it is. So basically, solomongerophobia, as
It's like a teach
I'm
me.
probably inappropriately pronouncing, is the fear of dining alone.
Oh, you're going to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about this website, huh?
Well, I'm not actually
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
talk about. I'm only going to mention it, but mostly I'm talking about why it's silly.
Fear
to
of
me.
dining alone.
So, okay, the reason I decided
Not dying alone.
Dining,
It's
yes.
dining. Yeah, it's just in case you did not something serious.
not dying. It's dining, eating alone, eating out.
Is this like an actual condition?
Yes.
Well, it exists. Okay, so I decided to do the segment after reading an article about a new website, and the website is called Invite for. I just farted.
That's what the name is.
Invite for a Bite, which is a terrible name. And the
Sounds like a vampire.
Women
fetish
only.
site.
Yeah, this is a UK website. And the
course.
purpose of the site is to match women up with other women so that they can go out to eat. And yes, it is solely used so that women, just women, particularly those who are like traveling or maybe just ones who have no friends, I don't know.
Mostly traveling.
They
but
won't. Yeah, it's mostly for travelers. they won't be forced to sit in a restaurant and eat alone.
Is this to like ward off men who may try to advance on them? Or
I
just
don't
because
think so.
this won't
I'm going to explain that a little more. Mike has actually mentioned to me before that he knows many women who say they have this fear.
They haven't eaten out by themselves ever.
They won't do it.
Literally
So wait, does this mean,
ever
does this
in their
mean
life.
like,
And these are usually very attractive women. They can't do it.
does this mean like sit down restaurant or fast food or anything?
Sit down. Any type of sit down. I worked with this girl, and again, she was very attractive, and I said something about going to some restaurant, and she goes, "Oh, who'd you go with?" She thought I went with a coworker. I was like, "No, I just went by myself." And she was just like totally amazed by this. She goes, "Oh, I couldn't do that." I'm like, wait, you don't eat out? Like, you can't go out by yourself? She goes, "No, I gotta get to go. I can't sit by myself." I'm like,
Is it like a
even if it's a fast food place,
Again,
I said,
I'm
even
gonna
a Burger
explain
King.
this.
I said, even a Burger
even a
King.
fast
She's
food
like,
place?
yeah. I said Burger King specifically to her.
Yeah,
She
that's
goes, no. And it fascinated me. Because I was like, this girl should be really confident.
Well,
Okay, well, let me go into that.
Yeah. Sorry.
What were you?
I was gonna say, whenever I had to travel on business and I had to eat at a restaurant myself, if there's a bar, you just eat at the bar. I'm like, who cares? There's other people eating alone at the bar. Yo,
Yeah,
what's up,
exactly.
dude? Talk to people at the bar.
Yeah.
No problem with it either.
So anyway, as you can guess, this condition, if that's what you want to call it,
Sure.
is essentially a form of social anxiety.
Yeah.
And with the increased number of women in various fields of employment, including business and other things where you have to travel. Very good.
I think that's a field where you want to be eating.
That usually doesn't require a lot of travel, but more and more of them are, traveling long distances and being forced to endure the grueling humiliation of eating when nobody else is sitting at your table.
Yeah, you're obviously barren or something.
Yeah, you must be.
What's wrong with you?
So here's the problem I have, and this is obviously not with the website. I don't have a problem with the website because whenever there's an issue like that, whenever anything comes up, someone's going to come up.
I think it's an enabler, though.
Yeah.
Well, it is. You're right, but that's not the fault of the person making the site. I mean, you can't blame manufacturers of something for the people buying it.
Unless it's cigarettes.
You still can't blame them. They just find a way to do it.
Black tar heroin, same
so,
thing.
This lady recognized that dining alone bothers women, so she made this site. But what I have an issue with is the concept, which is that, for one, how is it more embarrassing to dine alone than to have like a blind date? Not really a date, but to have like a blind date with like a lunatic who's, comes to your table, won't stop talking at you really loud, boisterous or something. Because you don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, it can go either way. You can
And
meet someone you really like, you have a friendship, or you can meet someone
Yeah, is there anything worse than a bad date? Like a bad
that's
date
what
is
I'm
horrible.
saying. It's really awful. And this what this website is doing essentially is making every time you go out when you're on business,
Russian
like
roulette.
you're traveling, you're having a first date every time, like a blind date.
That'd be awful.
Maybe there's I don't know about this site, I've never seen this site, but maybe there's like profiles where they like show their interests and stuff so you can match up.
I think they do a little bit, but it's still like you still don't know though.
Yeah.
And so, I find that much more nerve-wracking than sitting alone anyway.
Well, it's a crapshoot at this point. Would you rather be alone or would you rather be with a crazy person?
Well, I would rather be alone. But I'm just saying,
Are you going to talk about why they didn't include men in there?
I'll mention it, though really the reason is that men don't have the problem nearly as much as women do. And that's
well, they say I remember I thought something about like safety concerns and stuff. You still meet up with some random person you don't know that could be a man pretending to be a woman.
Yeah, it could be like
Who the
a
fuck knows?
front to get
it's
your
like Craigslist.
kidneys.
Who the fuck knows what's going on here?
So, the other problem with meeting a person for the first time and eating is that you're trying to be nice and polite and make a good impression, have laid back conversation with this person, but why would you want to do that? Because you're meeting this person, you're probably never going to meet him again because you just happen to be eating together, so you don't have to sit alone, which is ridiculous.
I bet you a lot of them just do that and they just want to sit there and not even talk.
They just want someone there so they don't look bad.
So I don't look like an idiot.
Yeah, it's creepy. So, but more importantly, I want to go back to the real point, which is I want to talk about solomangarophobia a little bit more. Which is that, this is definitely something that stems from social anxiety. And it's considered by professionals who have studied it to be a real professional, to be a self-esteem issue.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was saying.
women, they think that it's people are judging them. But here's what I want to talk about. You know, this causes people dine alone to feel like others are looking down on them. And, you know, just, they're like, you don't have another person with you. You must be something wrong with you, you know? Like, but the thing that bothers me is that I find this to be extremely egotistical. Because, I mean, and this isn't something that people really mention when they have these social anxiety things and stuff, but I find social anxiety very egotistical a lot of the time, because people go, people get all nervous, but why would you assume that anyone else really gives a shit about what you're doing at all? The reality is that people don't care, you know? Yeah. When they're out at a restaurant, they care about two things: the company they're with, and more importantly, their food. Those are the two things they care about at a restaurant.
Where their dick will be at the end of the night.
Yeah, well, that's their company. So, in reality, you know, the other people are more likely to be judged by you because you're the one without anyone in front of you. So you're going to be looking around and observing people more.
Yes.
So how is it right for you to be like, oh, these people must be judging me, but really you're the one judging them because you have nothing else to focus on.
Absolutely doesn't matter, because no one's going to come up to you and say, why are you sitting by yourself? They might say it to who they're eating with, but you'll never hear it from any of them ever.
Yeah.
And you'll never see any of them again.
Those people are assholes anyways. Why do they care?
I know.
Yeah. Why do they fucking care?
Well, I'm going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
But,
now, I just want to say something about social anxiety real quick. I have social anxiety. And it is very self-obsessive, and it's stupid. You know it's stupid. You're like, and that's basically how you live with it. You just go like, you have to constantly talk yourself down and go like,
being an asshole.
Yeah, like, hey, they don't care at all. But is it better to make these fucking, I don't know, like these false securities around you and not actually address the issue you have?
I used to kind of have that. No, I just don't care. I'm like, why the fuck did I ever care?
I think more so the point I'm making, though, is that people, instead of trying to overcome this anxiety they have, they choose to just avoid it by using this website and acting like it's not okay to dine alone, which it totally is. Yes. And talking about a similar situation, I think that it's common for people to feel the same way about going to the movie theater.
Yes,
and
actually more so.
I think even more. Yeah, and this is something that I've done many times, and I still do.
Never done it.
I still do is go to the movie theater by myself. And guess what? The reality is, I kind of like it better.
Yeah, sometimes it's more enjoyable if you really are interested in the movie because you pay more attention.
There's no one with me. Like no one's mentioning anything to me. No one talking in my ear, and I can just sit there and watch the movie and not think about anything but the movie. Yeah. And I love that. But the reality is I've done this dozens of times. Went to the movie theater by myself. And not once has anyone ever said anything to me, or more so not once have I ever even seen someone look at me. They don't even pay any attention to me at all.
But if you bring it up to somebody, like, oh, I went to the movies, I saw this movie, and they go, oh, who'd you go with? And you go, oh, no one, I went by myself. It will baffle the fuck out of them. Yeah. Most people will be like, wait, what? You went by, why did you do that? It's like,
people think that...
Not have friends?
No, even more so, you go, because I wanted to go see a movie that I would enjoy, and that they look at that, like, that's the secondary or tertiary thing you're supposed to get out of a movie, like... Wait, no, that's not why I go to movies.
See, I've never gone by myself because I don't want to. It's not a thing where I'm like afraid that people will judge me. It's like, it's not as fun. I just don't find it as entertaining.
It depends on the movie, because like comedies, I've seen it with like you guys and stuff because it's funnier that way. But like if it's a dead serious movie or something.
Well, the only reason I don't go now is because they're too expensive and I can't afford it. But in terms of going and seeing them, I have no problem doing it.
I wanted to see, what was that movie with Charlize Theron where she acted like a little kid or something like that?
Young adult.
I want to see that. I asked like a ton of people. I knew you already saw it, so I didn't ask you.
Yeah.
And everyone had already seen it, or they didn't want to. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to go then. I don't know. It's just not enjoyable for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine, but it's not because you think people are shitting on you.
Don't care about that.
Because you don't care, yeah. But here's the thing that I want to talk about, which is that there's only 4, that I can think of anyway, 4 circumstances where a person whom you have never met are going to, like, look at you and start judging you, paying attention to what you're doing. There's 4 situations that cause that.
You're a minority.
Well, no. One of them is you're creating a scene. That's one of them.
Yeah.
That's obvious. The second one is you do something that directly affects them somehow, which, could be making them late somehow.
Throw a rock at them.
Even like running into them, things like that. Yeah. Something that affects them. Number 3 is they find you attractive. That's obvious. Mm-hmm. And the fourth one is, and this is the most important one, they're just an asshole.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And
some people
that's,
go and judge
that's
it.
very
like
common.
a bully.
Some people are assholes. And that's exactly the point. Why would you be afraid of these people judging you? Because these are the exact type of people that you probably don't want to be around anyway.
Yeah.
So why does it matter if this person's like, you're dining alone, fucking loser? It's like, well, I don't care about you because you're just a dick. So why does it matter what you think about me? It doesn't matter at all. So the fact that the people who, I've been insulted by people many times throughout my life, like people who I didn't know even. I've had people just be a dick to me. But the thing is that the people who act like that are people that I don't want to be around, and I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
So why does it matter?
Also, when someone insults somebody that you don't know, it almost has no effect on me. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I don't fucking care what you have to say.
Yeah.
Just some retard that I don't care about.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So, the point that I want to make with this is that you shouldn't need a website to continue your cycle of
psychosis.
Yeah, exactly. You should go eat alone, fucking enjoy your meal, and stop being a pussy, basically,
Get a fucking bottle of wine, buy an awesome meal, and just sit by yourself.
Yeah.
Don't bring anything. Don't bring a book. Don't bring anything. Just stare out. Because I did this in France, because I was by myself. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
No, I gotta say, eating at bars and you're alone, there's other people doing it too. That's fun.
You
Talk
meet
to them.
cool people.
I know.
I met someone who ran, he was a general manager for an NFL, Europe club.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, they're gone now, but it was cool. It was cool
at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that, but
I think you said everything.
Now, do you know people that do this? Because I know
yes.
lots of people that do this.
Well, I don't understand. Okay, so the sit down restaurant thing, I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of people that. I don't know people that are so afraid to not eat fast food. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can't just get a fucking burger and sit down.
Fast food
The funniest thing, the article that inspired this, the woman said she wouldn't eat sometimes, and I said this to Ellie, and she goes, has she not heard of a fucking grocery store? It's like, you can't, do you not go into those places even? I don't understand. Why would you not
No,
eat?
you know what? I think this is one of those prissy people, that go like, well, if I can't get my food prepared, I don't want to buy anything and make it right now.
I'm not going to eat that fast food. That's just bad for you.
Go buy a goddamn yogurt cup or something.
Yeah.
Eat something. Don't be such a loser that you refuse to eat.
Don't be that person. Don't be that Korean kid that died at the computer from starvation. That's what you'll be. If you die from starvation, that's how dumb you are.
You think at some point there'd be a tip
be
between
remembered.
the starvingness and the social anxiety, and I'm curious to see how long it would go before they would...
That like the tipping point.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Like exposure therapy.
The last straw.
Just put them
gotta go eat. Don't have a choice.
They could sit in a hotel room, and then there's a glass room with everyone staring in it with a steak waiting for them. They could sit in this safe room contained, or they could go out in this glass
sounding like a Saw movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the creepiness factor's going up.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's silly. Yeah, I understand the reasoning, but in itself, I think that reasoning is extremely egotistical. So
Yeah. So bitches, get some confidence.
yeah, I know.
Have a
Come on,
steak.
step your game up here. Just go eat your food.
Yeah. Go eat. You gotta give that advice to people, I guess.
Shouldn't have to, but
The next segment is Ryan is going to be doing the summer movie kickoff.
Yeah, there's summer movies. They generally star blockbusters, and most of them are bad.
Yeah,
Especially
and that's the
looking at last
time.
year, yeah.
That's the time of year I stop going to movies usually.
So I'm just gonna go. I have a huge list here of all the ones coming out for I guess
Don't just
until
list
the end
them
of
all
the
off,
year.
just talk about
I'm
them
gonna talk
once
about
you
some of
say
the more popular ones that people. Obviously, the first one is on May 4th. The Avengers is coming out.
Yeah, it's kind of like
May
the
4th already?
yeah.
May 4th.
Isn't that crazy? It's
almost
it's
out.
coming.
Wednesday or something? Or is that Friday?
Friday.
It doesn't say, but yeah.
I think it is Friday.
So, are you guys interested in seeing this?
So I like comic book characters, sort of. The movies are kind of okay, shitty, but this one has I have no interest. It looks so lame from the trailers.
I mean, if you take the 4 movies that were before it, I like the Hulk one. I like the first Iron Man one, not the second one. I only saw part of Thor, but whatever. And then
You can't make that very good.
Captain America, I didn't even
Captain
see
America
it.
sucked.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, like, they took away Ed Norton or whatever.
Yeah,
from the
Norton's
first movie,
not
so
in it,
it's
so
not
the
even,
Hulk one's not.
Hulk's
That's
gone.
out.
So really, the only reason I would see this movie is because of, like, Robert Downey Jr. and maybe,
I
guess,
actually
Sam Jackson.
don't like the Iron Man ones at all. People love that
Really?
shit for some reason.
I didn't love it that much. I mean, they're whatever.
In
But
terms of the characters,
I think-
Iron Man, Tony Stark is the best of the four.
I think
most
Downey
interesting.
Jr. overacts it completely. So, yeah.
I gotta say, I don't understand why people are pumped about this movie, because it's like, if you came to me and said, I want to make this comic book movie with every comic book character, I would go, oh, well, that's going to be written like total shit. Because how are you going to focus on every one of these fucking characters?
They're probably just going to focus on two of them, and everyone else is an afterthought.
Well, they picked the bad guy as that Loki guy from Thor, which is like, this is
that's a weird choice.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're just going to end up fighting Hulk or something like that anyway.
Probably.
Yeah, because they got to set up World War Hulk or something anyway.
World War Hulk.
It's a comic book
Yeah, I
series.
know. It's just so funny.
I just don't like comic books. I
don't think I've ever even read a comic book before. I just watched the cartoons when I was a kid. So
I didn't even watch I just don't like comic book characters. I think they're boring.
I think the movies are actually getting worse.
I think they are too. I think they've done way too much like study of what works and what doesn't, and now every movie's the fucking same.
Yeah, the formula's always the same. Yeah.
And they still sell. Moving on, May 16th, The Dictator. It's Cohen.
That's
Sacha Baron Cohen.
I don't know what to think about that movie. I'll probably see it.
I'll end up watching
I think it's gonna.
sure.
I think it's gonna be a lot like Borat was, where on the surface it's making fun of like dictatorships, but
Yeah.
it's more making fun of America.
Yes,
which I actually thought was great. I like that part, that concept of Borat.
Let me
It's
tell
like
you-
backhanded compliments the entire time.
Borat's a fantastic movie.
Let me tell you why I'm worried about that movie. Anna Faris. That is the reason
She
why
in
I'm
it a
worried.
lot?
She's the leading lady for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, he hates Anna Faris. I don't think
Can you
that.
think of I don't think she's that bad and stuff. I just think of the projects she's
Yeah,
involved with.
that is my problem too. Is that I don't
She's
hate
super typecast.
I don't hate her. I hate the movies she's in.
She's super
And
typecast
so
too.
it's like, she's typecast. She plays the same character.
We
in
got a lot of
everything.
these. So next one, Battleship, May 18th.
yeah.
Yes.
Super
Yeah.
excited.
So
That's
how
gonna be
drunk are we going to
hilarious.
be when we
Super
see
drunk.
this? We have to
Very.
be.
Everyone, whole bottle of wine and more.
Yeah.
Because I can't watch this if. by the way, that that guy, the dudes that do like Transmorphers and stuff,
Yeah.
they're getting sued by Hasbro because they're releasing American Battleship. That's what it's called, and it's about aliens attacking battleships. And what's
Wow.
great is the dude straight up is like, they're never gonna fucking win this case. A battleship is just a battleship, and he's like, thank you. He's like, thank you for the free publicity, Hasbro. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's also
Now
funny
everyone's
that
gonna hear
battleships
about it.
haven't been used in the U.S. Navy since the
I
Korean
know,
War.
but-
But anyway,
And
moving on.
when they say you sunk my battleship, we're gonna jump up and scream.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
May 25th, Men in Black 3.
Terrible.
That's going to be terrible.
Looks so
There's time
fucking
travel
dumb.
in it.
I know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, think about that.
Last
Think
time I
about
saw
that.
Will Smith in the Wild West, it worked out pretty well. So.
Yeah, there'll be Spider.
I've seen 2.
Oh, so
yeah,
bad.
2 is not
Doesn't
good.
really matter. There's no way it can be good because 2 is one of the worst sci-fi
Blockbuster
comedy
sequels.
Oh god,
blockbuster
it's
movies I've
so
ever seen.
convoluted.
It's completely awful.
This one's for Benson, June 1st, Piranha 3DD.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching that because I gotta
wanna
say,
watch it.
I saw Piranha
3D.
3D, the first one, and I loved that movie. I thought it was hilarious. It was very obviously made to be
Campy.
extremely campy, and it was like the
If it lives up
perfect.
to it, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it was the perfect combination of that tone without going so overboard.
Yeah.
That it still had a plot, and the
Yeah.
characters are kind of dumb, but they're funny enough where it was worth watching. It was
Yeah.
a great movie, really funny.
June 8th, Prometheus.
Yeah,
top
that looks awesome.
movie
That's gonna
for
look
me.
good.
I want to see.
I don't
it.
really think we even need to say anything about it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
Go
So.
see that trailer.
Moving on, June 22nd, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh,
Nope.
it's gonna make so much money.
Hey,
will.
you know that word "no" that I say that if you could make a movie that I want to see less, I don't know. I mean,
It's gonna make so much money.
I know.
Oh yeah, I hear
People be
people
like-
talk about it all the
And
time.
you know what people will
already.
say? I guarantee you they'll walk out of that theater and they'll go, "Yeah, that movie was not that good." I don't think people are going to like it. They're going to go, "Oh man, it's going to be so funny."
I
and this is gonna
disagree.
be fucking lame. It's going to be a
I
fucking
think
lame
you
movie.
underestimate how lame people are.
No, look at Snakes on a Plane. People, when they walked out of that, were like, that movie was pretty fucking lame, actually. When the internet gets excited about a movie, they usually are staunchly disappointed.
I don't know if you're right or you're wrong, though, because the difference with Snakes on a Plane is that it wasn't originally made to have that tone.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas this movie obviously is. It's named Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but at the same time, it's named Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So the chances of me wanting to watch that are pretty much zero. Yeah, but I could see idiots liking it. So
July 3rd, The Amazing Spider-Man.
It's terrible.
Don't care.
So I fucking love Spider-Man.
Don't
and
care.
that movie looks so stupid.
Do you want to sit through the origin story of Spider-Man again? No.
It's a new origin. Isn't he in high school or something?
Yeah, it's totally different
They
now.
rebooted the thing. So stupid.
Don't care.
July 20th, Dark Knight Rises. More comic book movies.
Maybe I'll see it.
I'll end up watching it because it's the movie. You can't not watch those movies.
By the way,
it's impossible to get out of watching them.
Yeah, I'm only reading the action movies, by the way. There's a ton of other stuff, but I'm trying to pick like
these are blockbusters. Yeah. But back to Spider-Man for a second. I got to say something. Spider-Man 3 is a complete piece of shit. There's no excuse for it. But at the same time, they completely fucked Sam Raimi, and then they act like he ruined the series.
I know.
And it bugs me so much because it's like now they're rebooting it, which is going to be just as bad.
They forced him to write something.
Write it, but he gave the go. He had full creative control.
No, he didn't. He didn't. The studio forced them to put Venom into the movie.
Like halfway through, when
it
they're
was
already
not originally supposed to have that character in this movie.
But do you think that movie would have been good with?
I don't think it would have been good, but it sure as hell wouldn't have been as bad as it was.
Yeah.
It was paced like shit because of that, because they didn't know what to do.
Long.
Yeah, he just shows up halfway through, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, Venom's lame.
So, I gotta say, I'm not even a huge Sam Raimi fan. I like some of his movies. But yeah, it's totally unfair what happened with that movie. And then like they act like he did so bad they have to reboot it, but really it wasn't him at all.
I will say they did a good job picking the director for this new one, though, because they picked a real outside-the-box choice. The guy who did 500 Days of Summer.
Something Webb is all.
Yeah, Mark Webb.
They should have picked the woman who did Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We're moving on. August 3rd, Total Recall.
No.
So they just released a trailer like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
what the fuck? What the fuck?
I haven't seen it.
Unbelievable. I saw the trailer. I want it to be good because I loved the original Total Recall. But it's not Arnold, so I mean, I'm like, I don't know.
Don't give a shit. Also, the same day Born Legacy comes out. That'd probably pull some.
Which one?
Born Legacy.
There's another one?
It's with Jeremy.
Oh my God.
It's with Jeremy Renner now.
Oh, that's right.
Really?
I don't care.
Okay,
what is that about?
Spy stuff.
The series is done though.
Okay, so what's happening in this one, I think, is that this person is seeing all the stuff that happened in the 3 movies from a different perspective.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I know.
I don't know if that's it, but I know it has Jeremy Renner, and it's
the same type of series, though. It's
supposed to be around the same time period, though. Like, so things are supposed to overlap somewhat, I think.
August 17th, we got The Expendables 2.
Nope. I fell asleep during the first
Expendables 1 was one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen in my life.
But this one has JCVD in it.
And as Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold.
No, yeah, I know. It's got people in it that weren't in the other one, but it's like, I mean, seriously, there's not a movie where I was like, man, this movie is going to be fucking hilarious, so it's going to be great. And we went to watch it, and it was just 100 times worse than I could have ever expected.
Dude, the second when Jason Statham's wife is abused by that guy,
she gets abused by her,
I checked out. I was like, I'm done with this fucking movie. It's so stupid and lazy.
The very first thing was the picture of the motorcycle of the moon transition to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
That's like match cut.
Oh,
It's like a match cut.
Good one.
So that ends it for August. I guess if you want to go into September, they have Resident Evil Retribution.
No one cares.
Yeah, it's September, so.
I know people who care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know 2 people.
We know 2 of them, and they fucking love all those.
Can they just give me $15? Just give me $15 fucking dollars, and I won't even spend it. I'll just piss on it and throw it in the trash.
Why don't they tell you to do like your own adaptation? You'll give you $15 and you do a one-man
Be
show.
Kind Rewind
of Resident Evil.
Be Kind Rewind.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so pretty much the only thing people are looking forward to is Prometheus, I guess, at least in terms of us here.
Yeah, the one that's actually a definite I will see.
I'm looking forward to Battleship a lot.
Well, we're looking for
the wrong reasons, though.
And Kate's going to drive me, so you guys can come
There's
too.
a few of the movies that I'll end up watching, I'm sure. But yeah, the only one that I'm kind of excited to see is Prometheus. Though the problem with that is that Ridley Scott has a
Mixed track record?
he's a mixed bag.
Oh,
he's got a tendency.
You just like him more than I do, but
he's got a tendency to make stuff look really good, and then you watch it and you're like,
Oh, he made the first Alien.
The first Alien is great.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
I know.
And the second Aliens, I will say, is not great, even though a lot of people would disagree with me, because
I think it's good. I think it's pretty
James
good.
Cameron writing.
I think the second one isn't nearly as good as the first one because that's the type of movie I like better as the first one. But they're not even the same genre.
No, they
it's
are.
like you can't really
one's horror,
compare
one's
them.
action. So.
One has Paul Reiser in it, the other one doesn't.
Yeah, well, that alone is actually a good enough reason to think the first one's better.
That's its own genre, Paul Reiser.
So they have in this and
Is it Paxton or Pullman?
Bill Paxton.
That was
Bill Paxton.
Paxton.
But this,
it was Paxton.
Prometheus, the main actress is the girl from the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And has Charlize Theron and Michael Fassbender is the robot droid guy, synthetic whatever. So, did you see that trailer? The like the viral fake trailer.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It looks good. I'm hoping it'll be as good as it looks.
Okay, so we're gonna do top 5. So number 5. SEC mistakenly reveals whistleblowers. That's from Wall Street Journal. Mm-hmm. So basically, this company, Pipeline Trading Systems LLC, they're like a hedge fund. They were doing some illegal insider trading type things. SEC was trying to catch them on it. They had a whistleblower telling them, "Hey, I got evidence of this," and it was written in a notebook. So they're questioning these guys. Not the whistleblower, but the other guys.
Like heads of the company.
Yeah, so an officer's questioning them, and they're just denying everything. They're like, you don't have any evidence, fuck you, you know? Mm-hmm. And then they go, well, we do have evidence. Check out this notebook. And they show the notebook to him, and they recognize the guy's handwriting.
The whistleblower's handwriting.
Yeah, the whistleblower's handwriting. So this fucking dumb shit SEC official ruined this guy's life. He could never work again, basically.
He's going to be blacklisted from everything.
You chose...
What was that?
He chose poorly.
Yeah. So, and it's great because this isn't the whole article. It was in the paper as a whole article, but they were just like, oops. Yeah. They did not care at all. They were just like, and we have this war on whistleblowers already. They're being imprisoned and charged for like 50 years in prison. But... this guy, he did everything he was supposed to do. He did the right thing. He got completely fucked. Yeah. Got his life ruined, so he better win a huge lawsuit.
Yeah.
He will. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, number 4, Fox Monica Crawley. So do you want to explain this one, or do you want me to go through it?
I don't remember which one was this.
So this is the woman, she's at Fox News, and Sandra Fluke, the contraception, the contraception advocate that was called a dyke for 3 hours by Rush Limbaugh.
I thought it was a whore.
Whore, dyke.
Yeah, the woman
he's talked about it for 3 hours.
Yeah. How?
Dude, because that's what Rush Limbaugh does. That's why he says crazy shit.
That's a pro skill right there.
Dude,
I can do that.
He can talk about the same thing for an hour. Think about that. It's amazing. People listen to it, which is that's the talent.
Yeah, that's what's amazing. Not that he can talk about something forever. It's that people continue listening to him.
Yeah, you wonder why he's on OxyContin, because he probably can't even stand listening to himself after a while.
Continuing on with the...
But anyway, so Sandra Fluke, she got engaged, and this person at Fox News, a woman, by the way, some blonde bimbo, cunt.
That's all the same.
She said to a man on her Twitter, get it? Because she's a dyke.
Yeah.
Get it?
So
I guess it's bad to be a lesbian? Is that what this woman's saying? So basically, everyone pounced on her ass, and she said, I love exposing the left's total lack of a sense of humor. This actually made me the most mad, because it wasn't a funny joke in the fucking first. It's a bad, stupid joke. Yeah, it's a sucky joke.
Well, the best part is that someone else called her out on it, and she goes, it wasn't a joke, it was a serious question.
Yeah,
after that. So it's like she flip-flopped on whether she was making a joke or not even.
So she actually completely rescinded her apology. She said, insinuating nothing. Straightforward question, no answer yet.
So before we go on, though, there's a follow-up to this. She actually apologized.
Oh, she did,
yes.
Yeah. I just see that now.
And her apology said, I regret my tweeted question caused a stir. I certainly and unequivocally apologize to Sandra and anyone else I offended. Not my intention.
What was your intention?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the intention
I find it funny
was.
that like they always do this. Like they always like make some bullshit question, get yelled at it, and then like give this half-hearted apology later. But the damage is already done. I mean,
Yeah, and the thing is too,
That should happen.
journalists give the worst apologies. Their apologies are always, "I don't apologize," because not my intention completely dismisses what she's basically going, "Hey, I feel really bad that I've hurt your feelings, but that wasn't what I meant to do. So actually, I'm not even apologizing." Is what I'm actually saying. I'm actually saying that I really didn't say anything wrong because you just misheard it, you stupid dyke. So that's what she's doing. So good for her. Number 3.
Okay, so the title of this one is Monsanto buys leading bee research firm after being implicated in bee colony collapse. So if you don't know, bees are awesome when it comes to crops because they pollinate shit.
Yeah.
They've been
Basically,
having
the
a problem.
world will end if there's no bees.
Yeah.
Yes.
And recently, there's been a problem with bees having something called colony collapse disorder, which is like a bee colony, with thousands of bees.
There's no
will just
more bees.
Stop working.
Yeah.
They'll disappear.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I didn't know Monsanto was implicated in this because I had heard a lot about the bee colonies as being. I didn't hear anything. So whoever their PR is amazing.
Yeah.
They're
But anyway,
great.
so there's this firm. I guess it's called Biologics.
Yeah.
Biologics. Yeah. They do research on bees and other stuff like this. And I guess they had some research that said that maybe some of the genetically modified crops that Monsanto loves throwing out there had something to do with it.
No.
And, so they got bought.
So essentially, what happened is this company.
Wait, they got bought right after that?
They got bought from Monsanto.
This company basically
Wow.
started
Yeah,
to
messed
find
up?
links between Monsanto and the cause of the problem.
Now-
So Monsanto, instead of trying to either fix the issue
Just
or
bought it.
talk to them, just bought the company.
I think
That's
it'd
what
be a
they
good
did.
segment at some point to just talk about Monsanto.
Yeah, Monsanto. There's actually a great documentary called "The World According to Monsanto," and it's free.
Well, that's probably
It's
better than
online.
anything we
They,
could come
I
up
mean,
with.
they've been
great.
trying to find out what the big problem was with the bee shit forever. And look, we'll just buy out this company. Fuck 'em.
There's a lot. To be fair, there are like some other theories about why this is happening, but I guess because they put out this research.
So I gotta
So
say,
ridiculous.
who's the bigger asshole here?
That's what I was just
Monsanto
gonna ask.
Or the
was gonna-
company for
Company, yeah.
selling? They know this
Monsanto.
terrible thing. I don't know.
I
Because
actually,
the company was putting it out in the first place.
here's what I think.
People know.
I think it bought
Mon-
was it like a hostile takeover? I mean, I'm curious. I don't know.
It's a
and see.
grant-based. I think it's a grant-based organization, so they couldn't be taken
The
over.
thing is that this is supposed to be a research company, and they clearly don't really care about their research. If
No,
they
it
were
almost
willing
feels like
to
they were
sell out
blackmailing
to
them.
Monsanto.
that just seems like a blackmail.
Yeah,
move.
that's what it feels like.
Messed up.
And not that Monsanto deserves any,
Apparently,
any sympathy.
Biologics has also had a long and cozy relationship with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is convenient for Monsanto. So,
Oh,
there
that's
we go.
good.
Nice.
Yeah, they actually. I think the VP of the FDA is a former Monsanto
Yeah, Monsanto.
shill.
Yeah.
So next
He used
time
to be
you
a
see-
lobbyist. I thought he used to be a lobbyist.
Yeah, he was lobbyist.
Next time you see a study by Biologic or whatever the fuck it is,
Just
you
don't
can go
read
ahead
it.
and ignore that because
don't ever read it.
they're owned by Monsanto now.
Actually, if you read any research about any food, just find out who got the grant money to them because you will find all sorts of problems real quick.
Yeah, well,
Because
that's true.
it's all about where the money comes from. So anyways,
Money ruins everything.
yeah, it does.
But it makes everything great.
What makes everything great? Bees.
Bees
I love
are pretty
bees.
awesome. Honey's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Bee vomit.
I like bee vomit.
Moving on.
So number 2, debt collectors work in emergency rooms, demand payment before patients receive care.
This is insane.
Do I even need to say anything about this?
This is
The
completely unethical and illegal.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're in the emergency rooms. They're working there.
so here's the money quote. I found this.
This is just funny.
Yeah,
It's insane.
it's just like this guy Paulie. Hey, we gotta talk about your situation here.
Yeah, my arm is fucking broken.
There's a pole in my stomach. Shut up.
You ever seen that episode of The Simpsons when Lionel Hutz is talking to Marge and he hears an ambulance and he gets up for a second and he's like, never mind. And he sits back down. These guys are
that's
actually
it.
10 times worse than him because they're already at the hospital.
Okay.
They're there already. These guys are worse than Lionel Hutz.
So here's the great thing. Okay, so here's the money quote. This I found through Consumers, but it's a New York Times article. Indistinguishable from medical staff members, employees register patients, take down sensitive health information, and champion aggressive bill collection goals with incentives like gift cards for staff members. So this is another example of the Monsanto thing. Who is the bigger asshole? Is it the collectors or is it the hospital for allowing the collectors?
Oh, it's
the hospital.
hospital.
The hospital's
Ridiculous.
absolutely the worst out of them.
Debt collectors are already assholes, but they try to get money. But the hospital, like,
It's almost impossible to comprehend that they allowed this to happen. Like, it's so insane to me.
Just imagine, like, some 80-year-old lady, like, what's going on?
Imagine this. Imagine someone died, right? They just passed away, and it's like, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Just pulls out their
now
wallet.
Let's talk about what you fucking owe us, bitch. And then it's like, wait, what? It's like, no, you got paid. I want this Applebee's gift card. You don't understand. I want some Brutuses and some riblets. And I'm going to fucking sell this to you.
No pictures of beer.
The one thing about this, though, if anyone says to you that America's healthcare system is the best in the world, just show them this article. And
America's
say
healthcare
how.
system is the best in the world if you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's it.
How? just how. Just
somehow worse than people not getting
I don't
medical
know if
care.
it is actually now, but let's talk about it. But number one, CISPA.
Yeah, so basically this is the SOPA Act, just renamed with some different stuff in it.
It has a different focus, though.
Well, this is supposed to be more... The idea is that right now there's checks put in place for different agencies, like police agencies, police, FBI, NSA, CIA, from sharing information. Like there has to be orders between them. And
there has to be warrants.
Yeah, warrants and whatnot. So this bill is on the surface, it's supposed to be about allowing these agencies to share data more easily to stop terrorism.
You gotta feel safe, everybody.
But it also...
Stop that thing that isn't actually happening.
Yeah. But it also has basically put immunities for ISPs and whatnot for sharing, and allows ISPs and other telecoms to basically say, this person has doing suspicious activity, and just gives their public data without any warrants, without any checks to, the
NSA, mostly.
Yeah, etc. And so basically, it's just a huge fuck you. We want to see what you're doing.
This is the new world we're living in, though. This is the world where people give away their private information without even thinking about it. It's so.
Well, now you don't even have a choice.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Let's just live off the fucking grid.
Imagine if this came about when the internet, like their first wave, like in the late 90s.
No one would be comfortable with
Imagine that. And now it's literally been less than 2 decades.
You can thank Facebook. That's why people don't care about privacy anymore.
It's amazing. It's incredible that people would give away. That they would allow this to even become a possibility for this to pass. It's insane.
It's like it's just funny because you ask people like if you see what amendments get the most like airtime, it's always like the Second Amendment, the First Amendment. The Fourth is probably, in my opinion, the most important of the original 10. And yet everybody just keeps fucking trampling it all over.
They don't care. But this is. The amazing thing about this is I love how they put this as a security thing.
It's always passed in the interest of national security.
Because it actually makes you less secure. You have this thing that's enclosed behind very complex firewalls, security measures at Verizon or anything. In laws.
Some of it.
You have this behind this very tight-knit, and no one has access to it but Verizon, right?
Yeah.
Now you're going to give all these other organizations, which, by the way, hire contractors usually to do the work, back doors into that private information, including your passwords, your credit card numbers.
It's okay, though, because Verizon gets immunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, beyond that, like they act like terrorism, the risk is that, terrorists, with this information, they can prevent terrorism or whatever, but the terrorists are also going to know all of your information, including they're going to know where you are at most, a lot of the time.
IP tracking,
they're gonna know, they can figure out where you work, where you live, all this information.
I think it's even too much because since when have terrorists been using stuff on the internet to attack anyone?
Well, we're talking about traditional. What we're talking about too, this traditional terrorism, though. What about domestic terrorists? What about people that are just targeting you? What about an ex-boyfriend who's pissed at you and wants to kill you?
Or something,
yeah, these people can literally figure out everything about you.
I was saying this to you. It's like people don't realize that people are the ones looking at the information. And the other thing is, you had one source where this stuff was stored. Now you're going to siphon it out everywhere. How easy will it be for a contractor to jump in and just hack the fucking
what
thing
happens
and take
if,
all the
your
information?
like in your search history gets you leaked to, your insurance company, and they find out you have cancer or something? I mean,
the real problem with it is like you said, it's being grouped into the realm of security, and the real reason is because The government has
That's
done
how you sell things.
The government and media have done a great job of redefining the word terrorist to a guy on a camel with an AK-47, when in reality most terrorists are not that.
Yeah, usually they're bankers.
So CISPA right now,
well,
CISPA right now,
cultural
it passed
terrorists.
the House. I think it's awaiting debate in the Senate.
And it will pass. But the one nice thing is Obama is saying right now, and he's flip-flopped a lot.
He's saying he's planning on veto unless it's changed. So, he has problems with a lot of, basically the privacy concerns and whatnot.
So it will be 90% there, and he'll write it off.
Yeah, that's probably a typo.
So I'm sure the ACLU and the
Bullshit.
EFF are getting all up in arms about this. And,
Oh yeah, the EFF hates it. They're not fans.
So I don't know. I may do another topic like I did on the SOPA one against this, depending on how far it gets.
Well, here's what I want to know. Do you think that this, because with SOPA, what a big stir it caused, but then I haven't. I've heard.
You know why?
Only because
people aren't going
Wikipedia.
to be incriminated with this.
Yeah.
That's why I think.
Yeah.
SOPA was only big because Wikipedia. If that wasn't on Wikipedia,
That's
no one
true.
would fucking
Well,
care.
That's true too.
Yeah, it
Probably
helps
true.
to put it out like that, but SOPA was more, first off the incrimination thing, but also this is supposed to be more about security, and it doesn't have the whole headlines of controlling the internet thing.
Again, people don't care about their privacy anymore, so why did they care about this? They go, well, I'm safer now because the NSA is going to know terrorists. No.
It's
How
the
are they
whole
gonna-
I have nothing to hide argument, which just falls.
Okay, it's easy to find a needle in a haystack, right? So how about you make that haystack the size of Texas? And then you find that one terrorist keyword about a bomb in this entire fucking onslaught of information. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's a total waste of time and money. Fucking stupid.
Hey, but we're the crazy ones, man.
I know, I'm a lunatic because I do math in my head. How many fucking transactions there are on the internet.
Don't
It's
you
like
care about
unbelievable.
security at all?
I know, I guess I don't.
Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to episode 48 of the Tipping 40's podcast. As always, you can contact us at 218-666-8407 or email us at podcast@tipping40s.com. Thank you for listening, and we will see you again next week.
Thank you.
Diggity, diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity, diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity, diggity dog.